So I'd been eyeing this Ancore for a number of years. About 3, 4 years ago, I decided to go with the eccentric K-Pulley Go, but I was really torn between this or the Ancore. I did watch a Garage Gym Reviews video, which kind of helped me decide on my final decision based on just the scalability of training and how heavy you can go. But all that being said, I am very satisfied with going the eccentric K-Pulley Go route versus the Ancore, but I don't think that might be the right decision for everyone. A few things that I like a lot about this is straight out of the box. It's extremely easy to set up and extremely mobile. I took it on my trip for the very first time I used it, pulled it out of the box, didn't scan the QR code and watch any of the videos or how to set it up. So maybe I am not setting it up right, I don't know, but I don't care, it's working. But it's extremely easy to set up for anybody, extremely mobile. And I do like the resistance, the feel to it. It is a little bit like a band, and I'll show you guys kind of the weight differential with the scale that I have on when you feel the heaviest versus not. But all that being said, when we go into the video, I'll dive into some of the pros and cons and some of the decisions that you may want to make based on whether or not you have a cable machine already or some type of flywheel device, or if you don't have any of those, what might be your deciding factor on whether you go an Ancore, a flywheel, and or just a cable machine. So let's get it. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this real quick. This is how it came. You got a nice little card here that shows you can scan the QR code on how to get started and workout library. Funny enough, I didn't scan either one of those. They also have a nice business card with a nice note here, so that's great. You can see here you've got the Ancore system itself, which I'll pull out. And you just attach these plates on, which is really easy. Like I said, I didn't read any directions. I'm not super smart, and I figured this out. So like I said, a huge pro of this is just the setup as I'm struggling to set this up. So there you go, I got the 20 pounds worth of weights. And then you've got this here, which is your mounting system, which is really easy. You just unbuckle it and you can just slap it on, pull this pin out first. And you just slap this on and it can go either direction, which is actually kind of cool. So you can go this way or you can mount it the other way, depending on what kind of post or tree or whatever you're mounting it to. So from that perspective, setup is a huge pro. Here you can see I've attached it and mounted it on here. And one other thing I like is you don't have to attach the weights in any order. It can be whatever order you want. You can put 5s on the inside, 10s on the inside. So it's however you want to set it up. So they have it left and right indicators. They've got arrows to make sure you have it set up the right way. You can do lopsided weights. You can have more weight on one side than the other, and the resistance isn't, left or right. It just is however many plates you put on. So pretty cool there. And there we are. And then you just attach with this carabiner that comes with it, and voila. It does work with a number of attachments that I'll show you guys later in the video, but here you are, and then you get to pulling. Like I said, the pros are definitely an easy setup. Unboxed, no directions, no videos, and was able to easily put this together. And I am not by any means a handyman. So big perk of this is ease of setup. The second pro would be the versatility. As you can see in this exercise, I'm able to do power chops. You can do tons of different attachments, attachment points, etc. And lastly, probably the biggest differentiator between this and the eccentric K-Pulley Go is the learning curve. And I mean that not in the sense of setup, but actually utilizing the device for exercises. So with the eccentric K-Pulley Go, you have to set a belt to a certain length. You have to have almost a rhythm to your pull, which can be a good thing. But for someone who's newer to the gym space, this can be quite frustrating. And I've received this feedback from some of my fellow gym goers who utilize my garage gym. But this is a huge perk for the Ancore device itself. Now to touch on some of the cons. The weight variance to me is a big con. I've got 55 pounds of blocks attached, and as you can see, the weight varies quite a bit based on how far you've pulled the device. And at one point it's only 40 pounds, and in this instance it's only 35. So the biggest con by far is the ability to scale the weight. I've got every plate on here that comes with this, and this row feels like I'm doing maybe like a mid-level band pull. So that said, by far the largest con with this device is the lack of scalability to get enough weight on here if you're strong at all. So if you're gonna do something like this, you're gonna have to do unilateral movements, which is great. But that being said, it's definitely not a tool I think that replaces a lot of your other tools. So that is my biggest gripe. The eccentric K-Pulley Go If you load that extra large and large plate on there and you're doing rows, it's going to be heavy. You also can create more force by putting more force into it, and that's not how this works. So the only way I could see maybe utilizing this is if you're doing some type of power pull or explosive pulls, but other than that, it's just not enough weight. That's definitely the biggest con by far. So are you the right fit for the Ancore Pro? Well, I'll give you the definitive answer of it depends. There's three factors in my mind that you need to consider. Number one, how strong you are and your training goals. If you're extremely strong and you are experienced with lifting, I don't think it's a great fit because you just can't scale it enough to make it worthwhile. But that said, if you are strong and you're looking for some way to do more explosive movements and add resistance to it, then I do think it's a good fit for that. But that's a pretty specific use case. Now, if you're someone who's not that strong and you don't plan on getting strong, you just like to work out for health reasons and you just have pretty, low end goals from that perspective, which there's nothing wrong with that, then I think it's an awesome fit. And I think you should definitely consider it as an option. Number two would be your lifestyle. Are you someone who travels a lot for work, or are you at home or going into an office? If you're traveling a lot and you need something to take with you, I think it's a great addition because hotel gyms can be pretty dicey. And you could even add it as part of some of the hotel gym minimalist feel to it and really get a good workout in. It's quick to pack up, it's easy to set up, and that was probably one of my favorite parts about it is I didn't have to spend any time like looking up how to set it up or anything. I just went in, threw it in the gym, and started working. And then the last piece that I would consider would be, what do you have in your current gym environment? If you've already got a cable machine and eccentric K-pulley go like myself, it doesn't make any sense to have an Ancore Pro in my mind. Like, did it fill some gaps? A little bit, but it's not worth $700 to fill those gaps because of the tools that I already have. But if you're a minimalist gym owner and you've got dumbbells and a couple kettlebells and a bench, then I think it could be a worthwhile investment because it's easy, it's quick, gives you a ton of flexibility on what you attach it to, and you can basically create your own cable machine. And if you buy a second one, you can do maybe potentially things like flies and reverse cable flies, things like that. So all that being said, the decision is up to you. I'm not sponsored by Ancore. I only have 150 subscribers, so that's why. But I hope this was helpful. Like, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks.